Hi team, it is Obley here. Today I'm bringing you a plus 15 Eco Dome Aldani. Yeah, it was a pretty good key to be fair, playing Deathbringer. Playing the same talents that I play in literally every single key that I ever do, so there's basically no difference. I mean, at this point, there's no point even putting the talent build in the description because it's in every video I've ever made. But anyway, I was lucky enough to get an antenna this week, proper sick. Made a little weak aura for the antenna, showing you if you're getting chased by it and then how much crit you've got. I can't believe I survived that. That looked like I was in that. But also, got another prism and changed my empowering weapon weak aura. So now it's like a nice little, neat little sound that you can't hear. You gain and lose a stack. But also, it has a little glow condition too. So, glows green if I'm on 2 stacks. I don't have a killer machine proc and I need to spend it. But also, it glows yellow if there is something that I can proc with just 1 stack. So, like Bone Grinder, or if I'm in Pillar and I don't have a killer machine proc, I can remind myself, oh, I've got ERW, I can do that and get one. So it's really nice, actually. Right, let's take a quick sip of this before we go any further. Yummy. Okay, so with this pack, you quite easily cast Pillar and everything and burst. But I'm not going to be able to burst afterwards. If this pack survives too long, I am going to have to hold my Pillar because this next boss is pretty important for me to have my cooldowns for the start. You want your cooldowns, you want to cast your cooldowns at the start of this next boss fight because then you have them for every ad wave. But that is something that I forget to do. I actually ended up on this next boss, ended up casting my cooldowns a little bit later and missing Reaper's Mark. So annoying. I don't miss Reaper's Mark, but you'll see in a bit. But anyway, so we're coming up to like 10 seconds before our big burst will come back. Normally, if this was any other pool, I would probably just send a cheeky little Pillar because these guys will probably take a little while. I mean, you've got 5 seconds. Actually, no, that's a lie. We've got 5 seconds. I wouldn't do that. If they're a bit healthier, maybe. Goodness me, I think my allergies are coming up mid-pull. So, yeah, Tank's going to pull that. And you can take that to the boss, actually, so we can get a little bit of funnel. So we've got all of our cooldowns now, all of our charges, and we were able to stack our Nether Prism. By delaying our burst a little bit, we also got a couple extra stacks on Nether Prism, which is quite good. So we've got ads here. Ideally, I'm bursting now, but I don't know what's wrong with me. So I spend my charge, get my charge back. There you go. Yeah, I'm too late. By doing that, I also prevented myself from being able to cast Reaper's Mark because I didn't have the runes because I casted 2 rune consumption abilities at the start. Like a fool! And I could have done even more damage. I'm doing 14 mil now, 15 mil. Jeez. Who's this guy with the big dick? But I could have probably done a bit more. Maybe like 20, I reckon. Maybe sneaky PI. Definitely 20. With this, I like to just AMS and just go on pools that already exist. Because that way it's like you didn't even get the mechanic. No damage. No dot. No extra pool. It's fucking well good. If you do cast your abilities on cooldown at the start of this boss, you will have them for every ad phase. But because I didn't do it, I don't have it. So now I just have to do this kind of like single/duo target. I got 3 stacks of pillars somehow. So I must have been quick on the pillar, quick enough to actually get that additional mastery stack, which is pretty good. It allows me to kill these ads quickly. But here, I'm a bit of a silly sausage. Stand in the pool, I don't even proper cooldown. Who do I think I am? I had to waste a potion off that. But can you use your brain, Nobly? Stupid boy. But the DH actually did die. So that makes me feel a little bit better. At least I didn't die. Hey. Right, we've got 10 seconds till the ads come back, which is actually going to line up quite nicely with our cooldown. So if Obley just does this properly, which he tries to, I know he tries to, but I still have a couple seconds on Reaper's Mark because I desynced it from the start. Once you desync these, it is a bit of an issue. Obviously, casting Reaper's Mark a little bit later on in your pillar window, there is worse things in the world. Like you could, there's so many worse things that could happen to you. Get a mechanic mid burst, that would be worst. But ideally, you are lining them up at the start so you can get all the benefits. You get the 10% crit from the 4 set, you get the Exterminate proc, you get the Bone Grinder proc before the Reaper's Mark actually goes off. But, I mean, I'm doing 7.7 mil. I mean, it's fine. Boss is close to dead as well. Probably going to do one more cooldown burst, like miniature one, before we go. But I was also a little bit worried that the boss was slightly too high HP to just completely ignore everything else. So I didn't. Now, I'm almost certain that my Reaper's Mark didn't even pop there. But I don't know. Sometimes when you cast Reaper's Mark on something that dies really quickly, like it just vanishes into thin air. You do get the exterminate procs from it though, but don't get any of the damage, as far as I'm aware. So not ideal. Absolutely nothing to speak about when you go from pack to pull. Pack to pull. Fuck off. Go from pack to pack. No words. But this is a big spicy pull. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Good thing I got my cooldowns for this, but I was a little bit scared. And I know exactly what's coming up. And it makes me feel a little bit sad. But yeah, I'm trying my hardest to get all these arcing zaps as much as I can, but also burst on the Sentinel. So let's go. Big burst. We didn't get to time up with a Bone Grinder. Because I fucking suck, alright? But we are doing some decent damage anyway. Doing more damage than everyone else, at least. But then, where is it? Oh, never mind. No, we do slam. Continue to slam. So I'm getting some decent antenna procs. I did also use a potion there, but I think they're just rank 2 potions. Worth doing though, because I have an Alchemical Chaos Flask. Because my stats are so spread now, because I have crit mastery pretty much at max. Verse is now one of my best stats, if not the best stat, according to Sims. But I mean, do I trust Sims very much? I don't know. I'm not really too sure if I do. Can I quickly just let the tank gather some mobs? And we've got our small mini burst, we've got our 45-second burst, which is still a hefty burst. Grip that guy so he doesn't cast Zap and then interrupt him. Get fucked, nerd. And then I luckily started this window with a couple extra Killing Machine stacks, so I definitely poked Bone Grinder when I needed it. So we get an easy, nice little 11. What was that, 12? Oh, we get close to 12. We didn't quite push through. Oh, there we did. Got a nice little 12 mil burst from that. The different pillar, just as a cooldown, is crazy good. Like the damage you get from just casting pillar is like 10 to 12 mil from just doing pillar. But if you just did breath, you're probably like 7, 8 mil, maybe. Maybe not that. Maybe like 6. So like breath on its own is actually weaker than like pillar on its own. That's why you never want to make pillar weight. You want to cast pillar as many times as you possibly can, and you always want to pair breath with something like pillar, because breath on its own, meh. Pillar on its own, yeah, nice. So we've got all of our cooldowns now as well. This is shaping up to be good. 11 stacks on the prism as well. Yeah, I think the tank is pulling big here. And I'm kind of focusing the fast stalkers because they're the one that cast Arcing Zap. Now this is a big fucking pull, and there's lots of Arcing Zaps going on. And I've already got one. One almost went off there. But now we're focused on bursting. We managed to get that out of Arcing Zap too. It's on lock. Good luck. Try and cast when I'm in the dungeon. No, Also, as a Death Knight, it's really nice because you can just grip shit. Like having those grips, and also having the reset your grip cooldown on things dying is fucking so good. Actually, long grip. That's probably one of the best utility talents we can have now. Seeing as, oh, you see that? See that? It almost went off on me. That Arcing Zap almost went off on me, and I gripped it instead. Grip this. Yeah. Moving on. 45-second burst is up. I'm going to look at my empowering weapon charges, see how many I've got. I'm also just going to wait out those Bone Grinder stacks. So I've waited them. Now is a good time to burst. The Arcing Zap went off. I was too focused on bursting. I was too focused on getting my Bone Grinder to proc when I wanted it to. I don't think I did. But now, this is kind of annoying, this bit here. I know exactly what happened here. I'm like, shit, dude. I got no damage for this. And we're in the second half of the Sentinel when he does that the most amount of damage. But, wait, it's coming soon. I'm getting clapped, right? And then I get targeted. with the zap, with that fucking AoE thing. Like, what? Is it because the tank was too far away or something? The tank fucked off. And then I get that. Shut up, dude. Shut up. Anyway. Big burst. But because I did my big burst here, I didn't actually know what the tank was doing. If I knew what the tank was doing here, and if I knew he was going to pull the boss as well, I actually would have just saved it for now. Because now my burst is gone. I've got nothing for the spears. And this is going to bite us in the ass soon. Just hold on. Hold on a moment. So now we've got these spears, and nobody has any damage because we've had no idea that this is happening. So I'm trying to do what I can to this guy, this little jabby boy, but there is nothing. There's no chance, and the warlock is just gonna die. Boom. Yep. Javelin damage, being targeted. Not good. And because I died and I took the CR, like a mong, we didn't have one for the boss. So I think at this point we're kind of deciding, all right, we're gonna wipe it now. And we're going to try again. So I think you wanted to reset, but I don't actually know if you can reset this guy. Because I got targeted with something all the way out here. And the fight still carried on. So I don't know. Yeah, there you go. See? He's there. So I'll just die. Fuck it. And at this point, it's fine. I was a little bit like, is the timer very tight? I don't know. Because the Eco Dome is probably the dungeon I've done the least out of many of them. But I was just having a little look at the blinding javelin damage there. I wanted to see if I'd actually done what I'd done. But it means I was late to res. Okay, I'm looking at myself because I record myself with the camera. I'm looking at myself, which you can't see because it's behind me. But I'm looking at myself and I'm just looking at how sad I am right now. Wait, hold on. I'm sure I can do it. No, fuck, that's the wrong one. There you go. Oh. Sad obly. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Get over it. Now I've got to put this back. That's fine. It's something to look at while we pull the boss. Anyway. Here we are. Back again. Let's go. I've just ruined the immersion by putting the mouse over the video. Sorry, guys. I've got everything for these now. So I can absolutely just rinse these javelins. Absolutely shag them. Yeah, they die super quick. You see that? Realistically, every single key needs to play around my cooldowns. If they don't, you're literally gimping yourself. You're literally trolling your own key. Why can I see, I'm just looking at my playter now, I can see that little 2-minute debuff. Is that a debuff from the warlock? It's gone now. No, it's back there again. You see that? Is that like Curse of Tongues or some shite? I don't know, I don't care. But the key with this boss is, as soon as you have your stack, get in there, get out. Get in there, get out. Look, stay out, get in there, do it, get out. Fuck off. As a DK, you can really survive this really nicely. But, so, I was tempted to use Frost Scythe, but I was having a discussion with somebody yesterday about how it's not been that good on, not that good on 2 targets. But I can't see how, because the damage is, so what are we hitting there? I'm trying to see, 3.1 mil on one single target. When we do this on the next phase, because there'll be one more phase, we'll have a look at the Frost Scythe damage, because this time I just did Obliterate on this lizard. The next time I'm going to do the Frost Scythe on both of them. And as far as I'm aware, I'm still a Frost Scythe on 2 targets during your burst. Stan. I still think that actually is the most amount of damage. Yeah. So I know you can AMS those javelins, where if you AMS before the javelin goes down, you don't even get tethered to it, which is pretty cool. But I didn't actually have AMS for that. I think it literally was like a couple of seconds away. So I was watching it and I thought, oh, that's sad. And I didn't get it this time, so I can't even display it. But having cooldowns for these javelins is very nice. I feel like I'm saving my friends. I don't even know these people. I normally use my AMS here, to be honest, because you can just completely absorb the debuff and the damage. Whereas with the javelin, it's like, it's going to die anyway. It's going to get killed anyway. Not really an issue. Anyway, same thing here. Like, when you have your line, if everyone else is stay a little bit far out so you don't get cleaved, and just go in quick and then just fuck off quickly again. Don't stay in there. That tank's just staying in there. Like, what are you doing, mate? Get out. Get out. There you go. See, you're completely fine. So now if we do Frost Scythe, 1.2 mil, 1.2 mil, 1.5 mil there. So that's 3 mil in total. 1.6 mil, 1.7 mil now. Was it? Did I just see 2? Yeah, 2.1 mil. So it's very clear that you are still doing frost scythe on 2 targets. That was 4.2 mil in one global as opposed to a 3 mil, 3.1 mil global with obliterate. Interesting stuff. Interesting to think about, because like, what would affect obliterate to make it actually good on 2 target over frost scythe? And the raw damage is really all you need, because they both interact with the same things that each other would do. So anything that obliterate can do, in terms of talents, in terms of benefits from killing machine, frost scythe can also benefit from. Anyways, that boss was much betterly disposed of, if that's real English, that time around. Now, I do a full burst. But I kind of live to regret my decision a little bit. Do I? I don't know. Now, we do a slightly bigger pool in the next one, so maybe just a 45-second little burst window here and then doing my full burst on the next pool might have been the play. But at the end of the day, holding your cooldowns like that could have it just effectively just cost me at least 1 usage of my actual cooldowns themselves, just for the sake of 2 extra mobs. Because that was a 4 mob pack, and this is a 6, I think. 7? 7. So it's 3 mobs. And these bloody rune stalkers are never in the pack anyway, because they always run off and do their own thing. Doesn't even matter. Anyways, you still do some hefty damage, even with your 45-second burst. And I mean, it's bloody good. It's bloody good. That's one of the best things about Deathbringer, is the fact you always have damage. But also, because you always have damage and you're very spiky, it could... Like, I'm certain there's a world where double on use is available, is useful. I think it might be a play with like idle and prism, because you can idle every breath to make sure you always have one, and then you can prism every pillar, because if you die or something like that, at least then the prism stacks reset. At least it's not your breath that's going to suffer. It's just a pillar, but that would level out the damage a bit. You would, I mean, in an ideal world, you would have prism on breath, because then you'd stack it up fucking high. And then cast it fucking big. Okay. Moving on here. I don't think we click any of the haste starves. Starves? Staves? What's the correct saying for that? Sadly, my 20 stack of cryogenic chamber will run out before we even get to pull. But it is what it is. Cryogenic chamber, obviously, you don't really need to track that or care about cryogenic chamber. It's just extra remorseless winter damage, but it's nice if you can get a Rhyme proc and keep it rolling, because once you're at 20 stacks, as long as you just do it again, do another Rhyme proc, you will just keep that damage. But so when I cast Pillar here, I had no cryo damage. Honestly, there's nothing you can really do about that though. Like that is full tank. How quickly the tank pulls, and if you die or anything like that, like cryogenic chamber damage. It's like keeping your 7 stack buff by staying in combat with Sand Lane. Still need to upload a Sand Lane key. I said I would do it. I'm just finding the right time and the right key. I did record a Sand Lane dungeon, but the damage was fucking poor, and I think that's just because it was my first Sand Lane key in a long time. So I don't want to put that up, because I feel like that'd be a bad representation of what the class actually is capable of. I think Unholy's in a pretty decent spot as well, where you can play Rider or Sand Lane. Both of them does good damage. Again, Sand Lane's very pull heavy, tank heavy key spec. You need to make sure that you know what the tank is pulling, and the tank needs to pull around you. Right. I was so upset when this Demon Hunter died just then, because I was thinking to myself, are we actually going to time this? I'm waiting for my breath to come back. I could have popped my cooldowns there, but I knew if I'd have just waited for a little bit, I'd have had my full burst, and I'm only waiting 10 seconds, and everything's still going to be really healthy. Sometimes, it is worth doing that. You do want to pair everything as much as possible, and sometimes that does mean just waiting a little bit. But generally speaking, you don't want to make Pillar wait too long. But I knew that the pack next probably wouldn't be as big as this one. And when it's a massive pack like this, it's like, yeah, okay, makes sense. Just hold everything for 10 seconds. If you have to hold for like 20 seconds, then I think it's pretty obvious just to be like, yeah, just go, just send it. But if you're holding for like 10, so whatever, makes sense. Especially if it's a big pack like this. I have that little thing where you can stun them because I'm an enchanter, but I feel like that's pretty shit, because you just have to sit there and do nothing for ages until it happens. Right, so the Warlock actually ninja pulled this pack, and this is where it gets a little bit spicy, because I was thinking, oh, fuck, we're dead. Like, maybe if we... And then the Demon Hunter actually died as well. So, Warlock ninja pulled, Demon Hunter died. The only person that didn't do anything wrong this key was me. It was me. So, all I've got is my little 45-second burst. Now, if I'd have known that this pool was going to be so bloody big, obviously, it probably wouldn't have been the end of the world to save my cooldown for this, because this has got a pack speaker in it. I decided not to even bother focusing the pack speaker because I just wanted to get this fast stalker dead, because it's the zaps that would kill us, nothing else. The zaps or people standing in shit, which is obviously their own play, but the arcing zaps, we needed to make sure that those were all on lock, and we had what, like three of those fast stalkers. I think I can see, is that three? Yeah, 3, 4, no, 3. But then that in conjunction with erratic ritual from the pack speaker, it's fucking horrible. I think an arcing zap might have gone off there. I see that one there. I'm like, oi, get that. But I just realised I didn't pop my Reaper, so I had to really quickly do that as soon as possible. I don't think it's the end of the world because I didn't do that, but it doesn't matter. We are actually making our way through this somehow. The healer has done a brilliant job keeping us alive here. Like, I definitely got through a lot of... Well, I didn't even have any defensives to use here, but I think I was alright, luckily. The only thing left is the pack speaker and these bloody Ruin Stalkers. And the only reason the Ruin Stalkers are left is because they keep dotting out. Otherwise, they would be dead as well. But we only have 10 seconds left until we get our burst. So we needed the count anyway. So it's like it's not a key ending moment. Like, if anything, that was probably quite good for us because we then saved some time, because we would have had to pull another additional pack afterwards. I think if we had to have done that, maybe we wouldn't have timed it, because we did time it very like skinnily. So, skinnily, would that be the right word to say? Like, very narrowly timed it. Skinnily sounds like it works. So, we're going to leave that. But yeah, I've got 20 seconds. I'm kind of... Whenever the scenario like this comes about, where I'm like, oh, okay, I've got like... By the time I get to the mobs, I have 15 seconds left. It's like, oh, okay, I'm going to hold. Like, I may as well hold. I always think to myself, I could have fucking bursted. I could have done like a pillar or... Reaper thing beforehand. So like now, sausage. Maybe I didn't even have grip for that, to be honest. So I couldn't have done anything about that zap. That was fully everyone else. Oh no, I could have blinded sleeted actually. Now that I think about it, don't worry about that. I'm just deflecting blame. Then that guy got double welted. I could have definitely also interrupted that as well, but I was bursting and my full attention was on bursting. Actually, but it's not my fault. Lag. I mean, I'm glad we bursted there. I mean, by the time we kill this, it is tight. You know, the timer is tight. Like, the first bit of this next boss is fast, but then obviously we're gonna have lust now. Like, we're gonna get it down to like midway pretty quick, but then it's that fucking midway to end, which is hard, especially when you rotate. Fucking guy dies again. You can see how angry I was in the way that I shook the camera. At this point, I'm like, fucking hell. We have to be so quick. We have to do this next boss so well. And just to make, just to put insult to injury, the fucking pack speaker does consume spirit and instantly give himself a fat shield. Fucking hate that, dude. Look at that. Maybe, because I took too long to switch them, maybe we wouldn't have had that big shield. It would have been a smaller shield, but the DH is still coming back anyway. So it's not like it matters. So we have like 4 minutes to do this on a 15 with last. To be fair, with all cooldowns as well. Little AMS there just to absorb that ritual. Okay. I gotta work my ass off on this boss. I gotta work my fucking ass off on this boss. Now, the bone grinder was really poorly timed, but I wasn't gonna wait for it. So that's kind of annoying. Shit bone grinder. We still do a 10 mil burst though with shit bone grinder. Would have been bigger with a nice bone grinder, but let me get this buff. So how I want to deal with this buff is obviously I want to pair this buff with my most damaging moments. So if I can do it with the burst window, I definitely am. But also, if there are multiple for me to grab, I want to extend them for as long as possible. So I'm quick to get this one. There's nothing really I can do here. I was very, very conscious of killing somebody with this, so I'm very careful about where I'm stepping with that specific ability. But this next one, Ceremonial Dagger, is just go out and grab some shit. Realistically, a little defensive before there would have been nice for the healer, but I'm also thinking about some future times because I'm sure I'll need that defensive a lot more in the latter half of this guy's HP than the front. So here, obviously, you get 3 images. So I know this always goes round clockwise. So I want to get the first image that's going to get hit clockwise. Then I get the second image that's going to get hit clockwise and just have that for a couple of seconds. And then as soon as there's enough time, go and grab the third. So I have 1 stack for 3 seconds, and 2 stacks for probably about 4 or 5 seconds, and then 3 stacks for about full 7-8 seconds. So that in total gives me like over 13, 14 seconds worth of damage buff, as opposed to just getting all 3 of them really quickly and then just having 8 seconds of 3. I had 8 seconds of 3 plus loads of the other ones as well. So here's quite nice. Paired my Fate Bound with my normal burst. We're slamming. But at this point, I'm like, fucking hell, there's 33%. We've got 2 minutes. Surely we're going to kill this, right? We're going to kill this, right? It's tight. I should have used AMS there, but I didn't. I see Ceremonial Dagger is coming back as a bit of a early AMS. You can tell I'm panicking. You can tell I'm fucking shitting myself a little bit. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I have the right intentions. Just the worst timing. We get Eternal Weave coming now as well. I'm so focused on doing damage. I just grab their second stack. I just go for it. Because I'm in pillar. I'm like, fuck this. No, I just go for the third one before the ability goes. Go for it. Yeah, I'm like shitting myself a little bit here. Because I've got 1 minute. So I'm like, fuck, what can I do? And the DH only doing 2.7 mil damage. Like, Christ, lad. I think maybe if the DH doing the same damage as us, then boss would obviously be dead. But no offense, this was a hard carry. Almost got a minute left. All right, I'm starting to mellow out a little bit now. I'm starting to think, okay, it's not an ish. Probably should have just stayed at the boss, to be honest. But there we go. A nice little 15. There was like a 2-level jump for me, I think, from 13 to 15. So that's good. Finished the dungeon on. Let's pause that. Finished the dungeon on just shy 9 mil. 9 mil on eco damage is actually alright. It's not bad at all. I mean, without those silly little wipes, that definitely would have been above 9 mil without dying and all that shit. You 100% would have been above 9 mil. But I'm happy with that. I'd like to see a 10 mil. Again, that would be decent. But this is a damage breakdown. Cryogenic chamber, not really pulling as much numbers as I'd like it to. But it's not the end of the world as well. I'm just happy Remorseless Wind damage is good. But the king is always Frost Scythe. And look at that unyielding Nether Prism damage as well. So I have a maxed out level 723 unyielding Nether Prism, and it's doing 2.5% of my overall damage in a key that's AoE. In an AoE keystone, as opposed to a single target instance. That's fucking good. I wonder what the damage is going to be like in like raid on single targets. But anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my 15 key. If you're interested in my UI, hit me up on Discord. It's available to Twitch subs for free. Or if you want any coaching, hit me up on Discord or book me on Metafy. Stay subscribed and all that goodness, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.